Hello there, I'm Neil Joshi and welcome to this web series. In the next 5 videos, we're going to learn the absolute basics of robotics using Lego MINDSTORMs. But first, I want to answer a simple question. Why robotics? Well, the world as we know it is always changing. Over the last century, technology has leapt forward. The Industrial Revolution has given rise to a new era of human civilization, the era of machines. As we progress into the 21st century, our world becomes more mechanical. Things that took hours can now be done with the push of a button. There have been 2 significant leaps in technology that have shaped our present and will shape our future. But first, what is a robot? And to an extent, what is a machine? Well, the dictionary defines a robot as a machine capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically, especially once programmed by a computer. And a machine is anything that uses components to perform a task, or simplifies a task. Now that we know what both machines and robots are, we can look at the first event that shaped history. The Industrial Revolution is a shining example of how the use of machines and robots have changed the world. Before the modern assembly line was first conceived, goods and things in general were arduous to produce. Society could not progress at a fast rate. The idea of the assembly line was to have workers do what they were good at. Therefore, the overall product would become so much more efficient and fast to produce. Namely, the Ford assembly line, as the use of machinery skyrocketed the production quantity to a whopping 15 million Model T units produced from 1908 to 1927. This was a very simple idea at the time. However, we can see this concept being applied in today's world. Let's look at a car manufacturer. As we can see, there are robots manning the stations, most famously the industrial robotic arm. This is used to weld pieces of metal and car parts together, therefore increasing the production rates of cars. If we compare this to the older concept of the assembly line, we can see that nowadays it is much faster. This is due to the mechanization of the workforce, allowing for a faster, more effective use of the company's resources. Innovations reduced production times exponentially. This allowed for an economic boom that shaped the world forever. The Industrial Revolution saw the first use of machines, decreasing the labor of man. This made workers' conditions much better, as well as instigated social and economic development, creating some of the world's economic powerhouses, such as the USA. The most prominent machine in this clip is the industrial robotic arm. This is a very innovative machine and can be used to perform a variety of tasks, given its innovative 6 points of turning design. The next significant leap in technology was artificial intelligence. In terms of scientific and technical innovation, this holds the most weight. Putting it simply, artificial intelligence is the idea of giving a robot a conscience, allowing thought and decision making. A perfect AI will learn from its mistakes through machine learning, where an AI is subjected to a task and it will continue to repeat the process until it perfectly completes it. For an example, the development of Google's AlphaGo AI used machine learning to make the algorithm master the Chinese game known as Go. Over time, the AI became better and better at the game, eventually beating the best Go player in the world. Knowing that AI can essentially replicate a human's thought has some serious implications. There are many social implications to AI. First of all, being the fact that a robot can think. This focuses on the point that there is no need for a human to do anything, as robots could simply just do it better. This would lead to jobs being lost, as well as the majority of the population feeling alienated from what makes them human. The next thing to consider is that our lives would become so much easier. AIs could simply plan your entire day, do your job for you, etc. A great example of this is the film WALL-E, which talks about the human race's dependence on robots in the future. The final thing to consider with AI is the fact that they operate on pure logic. An AI will never be able to have emotion, therefore looking at the most simple solution to a problem, regardless of any social or emotional impacts. This idea can be seen in the very famous Terminator franchise, as well as the indie movie Ex Machina. Whether you like it or not, robotics will shape our future, and it is important to learn about them. The videos in this series will focus around teaching you the basics of robotics. Now, robotics can seem very challenging and difficult to teach, as there is no base for all robotics. Firstly, I believe learning about robotics is very important given their ever-growing relevance in today's day and age. Robotics seemingly melds both engineering and information technology. In order to teach robotics effectively, we will be using Lego MINDSTORM. Lego MINDSTORM is a Lego set that allows one to code different programs as well as learn about how robots work in terms of function and mechanics. It is a very creative and interactive way of learning the basics of robotics. My goal for this series is to essentially help others to learn the basics of Lego MINDSTORMs. This would allow them to pursue higher robotics as well as spark their imagination. MINDSTORM's simplistic design allows for the structural components of a robot to be replaced with Lego, allowing for people to focus on the actual function of the robot rather than the structure. I believe that using Lego MINDSTORMs can help anyone understand the basics of robotics. This series will go over every component of the Lego MINDSTORM set, allowing people to familiarize themselves with it, and then they will be able to use their creativity to design and create their own robots. Frankly speaking, the possibilities are endless. See you in the next video.